and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe.
Let me introduce myself the way I always start the show.
All right, let's go.
Sporty greetings to you out there from Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. This is Sports Tonight. I'm Austin Okonakwan. Cecilia, I'm not in London tonight.
Okay, it was a surprise. But then this is what the show looks like tonight.
Let's
yes,
go.
We're going to be starting off with CAF. What went down at the extraordinary meeting that they had today, the 46th general meeting by CAF. We will be talking about that tonight because it all boils down to Libya and Nigeria game.
Right. And
not just that, the fact that clubs and country needs to show what? Sportsmanship. We'll talk about that. And also the progress they've made so far since the inception of this present administration. More money coming to federation, more money coming into CAF, and of course, more money coming into football. That will get our attention. And also, basketball is also in the menu.
Big time. I love it so much. We've been saying it that the Nigeria Basketball Federation needs to show leadership. We need to see them do things for league basketball in Nigeria and develop the national team. So they are talking. Let's just hope that, Cecilia, it's not talks as usual. They must put words into action.
But nothing has changed. We'll talk about the league. It's starting on the 25th of this month. And also, yes, the Super Falcons, for the first time since I'm trying to remember the year now. When was the last time Super Falcons actually played game in Lagos, especially international friendly? It was the Aisha Buhari Cup. Yeah, that was the last time that they played game in Lagos. So you will be watching the Super Falcons live on Saturday right here in Lagos because you'll be observing the FIFA free window. So they will be in action against Algeria. We'll be talking about the players that will be prosecuting that game. And for the first time in a long while, you're having so many home-based players.
No foreign-based.
Just 5 foreign-based players. The others are based from the league. That's what they did. Because the Flamingos in action tonight.
That's right. We're already celebrating there. Remember, I always preach that at that level, it's all about development. And I love what I've seen with this team. I'm even so pumped up because you could tell that these girls are truly young.
They are.
Do you know, not just with their football, when you hear them speak, you will know that they are young. So shout out to the Flamingos, irrespective of what happens tonight. They have already qualified for the quarterfinals, and I'm confident that they can go all the way, Cecilia.
Especially when they are facing the host nation. That's their third game, 6 points from 2 matches in the quarterfinals already. Conceding just 1, scoring how many? 4 goals.
Showing
that's
good
a great
discipline,
one. 8
good teamwork.
goals so far.
Fantastic.
That's what they've been able to do. Yes, that's what we have for the show tonight. But MPFL will also be getting our attention. Remember last week we talked about the 7-goal thriller, Kano Pillars and Rangers. And in Lagos, we had 6-goal thriller. Yes, that's what happened in Lagos on Monday, the very first day of the week. Lobby Stars, led by who? Daniel Amokachi. They were in Lagos. And what happened to that team?
I think Lobby Stars, they're trying to be here and there, you know. I'm trying not to take anything away from Daniel Amokachi and his knowledge of football, but Lobby Stars will come to their best when they start playing their own football at home. But shout out to Ikorodu City. That's the level of consistency that they need. That's sort of football that they should be playing.
Last week, and this week Lobby Stars beating the top teams.
There you go. I think it went away also, picked the vital points, you know, and then now they're doing this. Remember, we were saying, when are they going to get their first win? And when they did that run with Bendel Insurance, I think 3-0, it was a rush. And then now they're doing this. So shout out to Ikorodu City.
And they're scoring goals. Imagine 3 against Insurance and 4 against Lobby Stars. Ikorodu City, are they here to stay? Who knows?
It looks like. Looks like they're here to stay.
They're here to stay. And what is Finidi George cooking in Rivers State? Top of the table. They're the only team in the season yet to lose a game. Yes, MPFL, so much talk about concerning Nigeria Premier Football League. Yes, but you're starting off with what? CAF. Yes, what happened to the CAF? Okay.
A lot of talks, and I'm sure when you read it out to our viewers, they'll understand that it's time for CAF to stop talking and start acting. You know, I wanted them to do something as regards what happened between Libya and Nigeria. You know, this is when you have to show leadership. I came out and I said, CAF, look, just condemn it first. Don't allow people to weaponize football. Come out, say, Libya, what you've done is wrong. We don't want it in our football. The game is fair play. But, you know, with the General Assembly, they need to discuss other things. But that is a pressing issue, Cecilia. CAF must come out and say something where you need to give sanctions, and no longer should we put parts on the wrist of people who are going against the rules of the game. The game is fair play, and we're using football to unite countries and the world, not to divide.
That's what it's all about. Football is all about unity. And of course, it's all about we trying as much as possible for everyone to enjoy the beautiful game. The ugly incidents that happened in Benghazi is something that we wouldn't want to see again. But then they had their 46th General Assembly today. And of course, FIFA president was there. A whole lot went down. But first, we have to listen to Gianni Infantino.
That's right.
Development of African football. And some of the things he said, I actually agreed with him. But there are some I felt, why are you talking as if you're doing us a favor? I mean, you're expanding the World Cup to more teams. It's only right for you to give more sports to African teams. So you can't say,
but that's a word dimension, Cecilia. Come on. That's a word dimension. More slots, more opportunities for African countries to play in the game, in the beautiful game of the World Cup. And also a reminder that, look, Africa, if you come to the World Cup with the numbers and you're not doing anything to develop your football, you will still not go anywhere with the World Cup, you know. So each time I see Gianni Infantino come out talk about African football, I like it. He's showing leadership. He's reminding the members of CAF to say, look, you guys, it's not just about talk. Yes. Do something. Let's listen to Gianni Infantino on the show tonight.
We have been focusing on 5 football areas, right? The first one is football development. And we have been increasing the Forwards program, the Solidarity program, from $250,000 a year to $2 million a year. And this money is invested by all of you in football development. And you can see that because you know it when you play now the qualifiers of the AFCON or of the World Cup, there is no easy game anymore. Everyone is getting stronger. By the way, congratulations to those who have qualified already for the AFCON last week. We have invested in a talent development scheme. As part of football development, we have invested in refereeing development as part of these investments, and we can see the results at African level, but also of the African teams at global level. The second area is, of course, national team football, and for the first time in less than 2 years from now, in the World Cup 2026, there will be 9 or 10 African countries participating in the World Cup. It was 5 until the last World Cup. We double the number of African countries participating in the World Cup, and this is boosting, obviously, football investment and football development all over Africa, when suddenly all of you have a real chance to qualify for the biggest event that exists on earth, which is the FIFA World Cup. We have been investing as well in women's football, for example, as well, by increasing the number of participants. Africa went up from 3 to 4, but it could have been 6, and it can be 6 if we see the latest results of the African teams and African players all over the world. So also they're doubling the number of African participants on the world stage.
First President Gianni Infantino talking about everything football development, particularly what Cecilia mentioned, 10 slots for Africa at the next World Cup. I love it. Beautiful.
Yeah, he doesn't have a choice. I mean, when you're having how many teams competing, you've increased the numbers of teams competing. It's only right for you to give more slots to African teams. We are even saying it's not enough. So with the way football development is going, I believe a time will come where it's actually hard to beat a team. Imagine Sudan beating Ghana. Sudan were not playing at home. They were playing in Libya. Tells you a whole lot. African football is coming.
But it's Ghana. Comoros.
It's
Ghana. It's Ghana.
What happens to Black Stars? They're in danger of not qualifying, you know. For the first time since, I can't remember, since like a long time ago. Yeah, they're always there. But we are not alone in the studio, right?
That's right.
Akindele,
Bring
where is
him
he?
Bring him
He's
in.
here, right? Rotimi. How have you been? I'll sit with you, don't worry. You won't be alone. Austin will be alone standing.
Okay, good to be on the show. Good to see you, Austin.
Good to see you too, bro. Good to see
This is a good surprise.
I know.
That's fine. Glad to be on the show.
Yeah.
Well done, everyone.
Okay. Yeah, we've been talking. Yes, we're talking about FIFA. We're talking about CAF. And of course, it's all about African football.
Yeah.
Were you expecting something different from Infantino? I was thinking maybe he can make mention of what happened to Libya and Nigeria. But hey, that wasn't. But he was more focused on development of the game, which we are all happy about. No politics at all.
So maybe if that had happened during the FIFA World Cup qualifiers, he probably would have made some comment. But it's not within his jurisdiction. Happened within the CAF jurisdiction. So it's only right for Motsepe. He's here, and maybe if he has one or two things to say about it, it will be off the air. But then again, Motsepe was right to come out and say, you know what, well, investigations are ongoing. We'll come up with a decision tomorrow. I feel Infantino, I mean, he's always been a part of all these assemblies, not just CAF. You've got for the Asian region, you've got for UEFA, you've got. So it's only fair that his appearance was key. Made those comments like you mentioned, more slots for Africa at the World Cup, and then adopting the UEFA format in terms of underage competition.
Yes.
Let us have it every year. It helps development. It helps a whole lot of countries, tighten up and see how they can truly harness talent. And you don't wait for every 2 years before the player you discover out under 15, you want to wait for another 2 years before you can get to see him on a big stage like a competition. So it's all good. It's all about development. Yeah. And I think it's fair. He's left Ethiopia now. So, hey, he hasn't committed any crime by not mentioning Nigeria, Libya situation.
But there's so much progress that's been made, Austin. He's talked about progress that's been made so far since the inception of this administration.
Yeah, but as I said, with FIFA, their scorecard looks good,
Yeah.
But when they're having the conversation in Africa, all they seem to be doing is reminding African leaders that you're not doing enough for the development of the sports in your continent, particularly when there is this big potential that we're not tapping into. And that's what Motsepe has been trying to do since he became, the president of CAF. So let's just hope that with all of these conversations, whenever they do this CAF ordinary assembly, I say to myself, do they just finish and tell themselves, we are just here, we've talked, so let's go back and do the same?
I think the problem is you can't really take out football out of the country's identity or the continent's identity. We've got a lot of issues,
That's the problem.
on the continent. And you can't single out football to just run effectively and not forgetting other sectors. So maybe until we have that structured sector, we're going to talk about this development you are looking out for.
Yeah, I agree. And until we realize that we must solve the problems first, we're going nowhere. Because we're doing a good job with identifying the problems. Go to the next step. Let's listen to CAF President Patrice Motsepe. He was saying a lot of vital things at that CAF Ordinary Congress.
Very, very proud that a lot of good progress has been made, and many of the governments are helping us. One of the problems we have is there are still too many countries in Africa that have to play their football outside their country. You cannot develop football in your nation, in your country, if you've got to play outside. So there's a huge amount of focus to ensure that every one of the 54 nations has got at least one stadium that's at the level of the CAF and FIFA standards. Huge progress has been made, and part of our job is to make sure that our young people in our countries are part of the passion and the growth and the development of football. We've always recognized that we need financial resources. We cannot develop football without financial resources. Together we have doubled the contribution. Our member associations used to get 200,000 per annum, and over the last few years together we've increased it to 400,000. So it is huge progress, but 400,000 is still a small amount. We need much more. We need much more. And that's why I'm very grateful, Gianni, for the huge contribution FIFA Forward and the money that comes from FIFA. We need football in every one of the nations in Africa from all the sources that we can. Over the next 8 years, there's $1 billion that is being
made available for football. Every cent of that money must go towards football development. It has to go to investment in the youth. It has to go in investment in academies for boys and girls. And part of the plan is to ensure that if we can get every African nation or every member association to receive $1 million, to receive $1 million every year from CAF starting in 2026, a lot of good progress will have been made.
That's it. CAF President Patrice Motsepe Rotimi said something I love. He said, you cannot develop football without financial resources. And then he went on to say, turn it into an investment. That's what we must start doing in Africa.
Yes, we have to start doing it, but then again, we need policies to encourage such investments.
True.
So across all the countries, West African countries, how many of these countries can you confidently walk into and say, I want to invest, and then you're sure of your ROIs? You talk about Southern African countries as well. Apart from the established South Africa, Zimbabwe, the likes of Swaziland and Eswatini and all of that, they're still not there yet. Same for East Africa. Apart from Tanzania, you want to call who? Uganda? Kenya? Maybe Rwanda, but Rwanda is still not as big as these other guys when it comes to sport. But there's a conscious effort that is being made from countries like Uganda. North Africa, yes, they have their own style. Seems to be working, maybe because of the Arab region and all that. So there's a whole lot of policies that have to make this work effectively.
West Africa?
Yeah, well, it can work.
Come on,
there's
Nigeria, West Africa.
There's Ghana. It can work, but like I said, it does take a conscious effort from the government of these countries or this region to actually make investment thrive, when you bring such to their regions.
Yeah, but I love the fact that, when he was talking about the finances, for instance, increasing the amount that goes, prize money, especially to Federation from that 200, that was very tiny, to 400. I mean, that's better. It's still not enough, but I love the $1 million he talked about. But that $1 million for development is still not enough. But the fact that he said in this particular dispensation, they've been able to, specifically, they had like 84% towards development of football.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good strategy for them. So if you're able to have 84% of your revenue towards development of football, so it tells you that there's a whole lot that will go down. And the fact that they've been able to reduce the losses they usually incur, from 28.9 to just 9 point something million dollars. That's something also CAF should be proud about.
It's a 68% reduction.
68%.
Yeah, that's or they've brought it down to 68%, which is pretty fair. Don't forget, before Motsepe became the CAF president, it's a businessman. I mean, he's a solid businessman. So it brings all of this expertise from running regular businesses and all that. And let's try and see how we can, make football a thriving business on the continent. And maybe that's why we're saying all this. Like I said, the competitions across board, you could tell, from $2 million, the prize money have increased by maybe by 50% or by 70% or even at times 100%. So there's that conscious investment into let's encourage, let's make players enjoy playing on the continent and all of that. And that's what we've seen. They've also managed to close out some shady, the word is not shady, some deals that were not so clear. And now they're going for rights deals and all of TV rights and all sponsorship. They still need more, but I feel they can manage it well.
Okay.
It's not like it's hooray yet, but I'm sure with the steps that maybe they have been taken consciously, maybe in the next 1-2 years, we'll be giving CAF some thumbs up financially. But in terms of investment, like Austin mentioned, you need the people to help that investment
happen. All right, let's talk about the big one, Austin. The big one that's what everyone has been talking about, the sportsmanship. I mean, what Motsepe had to say concerning the issues where when a national team is coming to a country to play football, the kind of welcoming is really not as sportsman-like. So he wants something different. And sanction will be given because laws will definitely be in place. So let's listen to Motsepe once again.
Then there was this problem with the Nigerian national team in Libya. And I will not comment on that because there's a proper investigation. But I want to emphasize a principle that we will not tolerate. Because this is something that has been going on for quite some time. Your national team let me emphasize, forget about the Nigeria and Libya situation, because that process has been properly investigated and appropriate action will be taken. Appropriate action will be taken. I've heard too many stories of a football club or a national team goes to a country, you spend hours at the airport, and they ask you about documents that don't exist. And apparently during COVID, they would look at who the best players are from your national team and say, those 10 players, they've got COVID. And you say, but we've just been tested. No, they've got COVID. But it's this lack of sportsmanship that has existed, and we haven't taken effective action. So I just want to repeat, we are proud of those nations that treats visiting national teams and visiting football clubs with the respect and dignity that they deserve, but also who treat them in the same way they want to be treated when they visit those countries. So I just want to repeat, we're reviewing those laws, and we want to emphasize sportsmanship. When a national team from another country visits or a football club visits, treat them with the dignity and respect that they deserve. And if there are violations of those regulations and those rules, we will take action.
At some point, I was saying, Mosepe, you are doing, just say Libya. You are going to go down for what you did to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Let's go on this quick break. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Just gone by Patrice Mosepe. Cecilia, in your interpretation, it's like he wasn't just talking to just Libya. He was talking to Nigeria and Libya and every other country that thinks that they can turn football into something else. But all I'm saying is, Mosepe, stop the talk. Action.
Action, that's what is most important. Rotimi, I mean, he went as far as the period of COVID where star players are being taken out. I mean, they've been tested positive for COVID. That was really rampant. And I was shocked that at that time, nothing was done. I mean, if this has not actually kind of have this international opera around it, maybe it would have just been, it would have been the regular CAF. As regular thing, a regular CAF. Now you're saying, I was surprised when he mentioned those COVID period, because we're crying about it. Teams actually suffered that period. Nothing was done. And now, this is it.
Well, you only need a scapegoat, or in this case, two scapegoats.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Nigeria is in the mix. Yes, we got the opera because it was Nigeria. If it were another country, if it was Libya, Comoros, we probably will have something, with all due respect, we probably will have this kind of interest from these guys. But then again, like Cecilia mentioned, international media was right on this one because it was Nigeria. And I'm expecting that by tomorrow, by the time the verdict comes out, before they even draft out their policies going forward, or when country or state is coming into country this and this are what you should put in place and all that, before they draft that policy, we would have seen the verdict on the Nigeria-Libya game, and that can serve as a template or a yardstick going forward for every other country. So once you fail to do this, then you'll be sanctioned, or you'll be fined, or you'll be punished. But up until now, we don't have such. So we'll wait for the verdict tomorrow. Whatever comes, we accept, and then hopefully we can avoid such incidents going forward.
We can talk about CAF and CAF, but I think we have to leave it because I want to talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Let's wait for whatever verdict they want. But I think, for me, best bet to Libya, play your games away from home. If you can welcome visitors. Simple. Okay. All right, Super Falcons right now. Let's talk about these girls. Yes, the beauty about the Super Falcons is when you call players to come play friendlies, you have all of them in camp in 2 days. They don't stroll in like, today we have 5 players in camp. Oh, it's just 10.
I even have
10
a response
players
for her.
are trained, 2 players are trained. Oh, Ian Acho just arrived. Come on, everyone is in camp. All the list out at the same time. Austin, maybe you just run through this for me, right?
Yeah.
Or do you want me to come to the screen?
I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll do it. Some of the names you guys already know. Goalkeepers, Chiamaka Nadozie, she plays for Paris FC in France. There's Monle Oyono, and there's Rachel Unachuku of Nasarawa Amazons. Some of the names we see in the league. The defenders, Chidima Okeke, Oluwatosin Demeyin, fantastic player, getting better every day with every game. Miracle Sani, Florence Alexander of Bayelsa Queens, Blessing Ilivieda. Is that her name?
Ilivieda.
Ilivieda, okay. That's for the defenders. More defenders, Sikiratu Issa, comfort for Lauren Shaw. That's another player. Is getting better and better space for Edo Queens. Tessie Ogiovi, Chidima Oguchi of FC Robo Queens. And the midfielders, the names you know, Rashida Ajibade, Esther Oyenezide, fantastic player, also getting better every day. Shukurat Oladipo, Chioma Olise, Josephine Matthias, and Amarachi Odoma of Edo Queens. The forwards, Gift Monday. I've always said Gift Monday deserves a chance in the Super Falcons. I think she's very talented and she's got something to give. Goodness, Osigwe, Janet Akekoro Move. Oh my goodness. Delight Nwosu, Folashade Ijamilusi, Mercy Omoko, and Olamide Bolaji of Remo Stars Ladies. I think what I said at the start, I said no foreign base. What I meant to say is, the players in the diaspora that were born abroad, we don't have them this time around in the team. So
that's what you meant by no foreign.
Yeah, so we are looking
no foreign-born player
player
my
in
goodness.
the team. Yeah.
I mean, okay, and that's not dwell on that. I think the beauty is, I'm not going to talk about Janet. I mean, Janet, she was with the under-17. I mean, she just started playing professional football. I mean, when she was called up to the under-20 team, under-20 team in Colombia, and now she got a call up to the Super Falcons. I think that's the beauty of our developmental, programs that we usually participate in. When you're seeing that fast progress into the national team, I'm surprised that Janet, she's already, getting her first call up to the national team.
So I'm not really surprised with this call up or with this squad. Don't forget we have somewhat a new manager in court now, Madugu.
Interim.
But not really new, Rotimi. He's always
been with the team. I know. That's why I said in court. Maybe new manager. Trying to size up a whole lot of home-based players alongside 6 foreign-based players. I think by the time we get to the WAFCON next year, we won't see most of them. But this chance is good. Take advantage of the window. At least play at least 2 games, which, fortunately for us, we have Algeria coming into town. It's just for the coach to size up and see who can fit in, who probably won't fit into the team and all that, because it's just less than a year to the women's AFCON in Morocco. So, and I'm sure the bigger names in court, and even the ones Austin mentioned about foreign born, you still see some of them make it back into the team for the Women's Nations Cup. So it's really good that all these ladies have been called up. It's a chance for you to prove yourself, and of course, a fight for a chance to get into the main squad for that next big tournament, which is the Women's AFCON. So, solid stuff as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mention, and I wouldn't answer Sisi about coming in early.
No, we know she was trying. She just
we'll just leave her.
It's okay to poke the bear.
Exactly.
The players were expected to train today, but the rain.
But they should train in the rain.
Yeah.
Why can't they train in the rain?
It just didn't happen. It's just a friendly. It's just a friendly game, so you don't have to. The rain was heavy, so you wouldn't want to put them through that for just a friendly that is on Saturday. Still have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get.
This is you win.
I won. How is it? All right, Austin. We move to the other team, the junior one, under-17 Women's World Cup. Yes, talked about the Flamingos, what they're doing right there in Dominican Republic. And of course, they will be facing the host nation tonight, 12 midnight. That is the time.
That's right, and with the Flamingos, Cecilia, I said it at the start of the show, I'm pumped up about this team. I like the sincerity in it. We saw the growth before they even left, and now at the World Cup, they're giving us good things to talk about. Not just Nigerians, the world seem to like what the Flamingos are doing, and that's what we're saying, that football can actually be that thing that we can use to rebrand our country. Definitely. So it's Nigeria taking on the host Dominican Republic, as Cecilia mentioned, and it's tonight. The Flamingos, they top their Group A with 6 points already. They are through to the quarterfinals, and then the second game, Ecuador will take on New Zealand. Rotimi, this game, does it mean anything after looking at this table? Does it mean anything to the Flamingos?
Maybe. So they just want to seal top spots. You don't want to get complacent. Even if you're putting out a team B in quotes, or your second team, I still expected that you go past the Dominican Republic side, who are still fresh to, developmental football, even at this level. So I think Nigeria would want to stay top of this group and then avoid a big team as early as Spain. We're calling the Spaniards big just because of the progress they've made over the years. Now you can see it across board. They are currently topping their own group. I'm sure the Spaniards will want to stay top of that group. USA, Colombia is in there. If Nigeria stays top, we'll probably play USA or Colombia. That's a tough fixture already in the quarterfinals. So I'm sure Nigeria would want to avoid Spain now, win handsomely tonight, stay top, and then hopefully get a fair opponent in the quarterfinals.
That's right. Let's take a listen to some of the talking points coming from the Flamingos side of that. Should I say crucial? Because for me, every game is crucial. That crucial game against the host Dominican Republic.
All what I and Matenga crew are doing, and the whole team as a whole is for us to make sure that we are getting better day by day. And the other teams who are watching us, so we are trying to make sure we are coming out the best. And once we are coming out the best, where that expectation of fellow Nigerians can be, established or can be fulfilled in getting to where we get to last time and surpass that place, God willing. Because everything you work, this is part of this world. You work and you need God's favor on your side. I can't put that away. I cannot boast of myself again. Say nobody glorifying himself, but except in the Lord. So while we have gone this far, it has been God. So we leave that for God, but we keep putting our own effort as human beings. I'm a coach. I'm a certified coach. I need to justify why I'm a certified coach. And the players that have taken the football as their profession, I need to assist them as going forward in their life. This is the foundation of their football career. So I have to be there for them. I'm a developer. So sometimes you try to, and everything shouldn't be tactical. You have to look at the tactical aspect of it, and you have to look at what's it called, the parental side of it. That's the only way you can get it, because these children sometimes are away from their parents, so you have to care for them. I do that as a father and other male coaches around, and then I prompt other female coaches and other staff that are there to act like a parent to them, so that they have confidence. They don't feel sad, they don't feel bad. So these are the two things we are doing. So we want to make sure that they are relaxed. That's the only way you can play football. A relaxed environment, a relaxed condition. Because there will be a time they're going to be tense on the field of play. So we have to tell them we'll be there for you, we understand you. A kind of motivation. That's what I've been doing so far, so good.
I'll just say, like, I'm not that happy because as an attacker, you have to deliver your team no matter what. So I'm not happy, not that I'm in a hurry to score anything, just that I'm not happy I didn't score. Also, I believe that my mindset was more high. My determination increased. This is my first World Cup, and I'm enjoying every bit of it, and I'm so happy and I'm so glad to be here. And we have conceded one goal, and I believe and I promise not to concede another goal again. The higher it goes, the tougher it becomes. So I'm working on myself, and I'm working on the players, and we have to play to instructions, and I believe I will not concede any goal again.
Saints have some talking points from the camp of the Flamingos. You listen to Coach Uluwo Bankole and Harmony Chidi. I like everything, the mood, sincerity. She's purpose-driven, saying, look, I'm not just happy because I'm not scoring. I told you when you listen to them, you actually know that they are. So let's take a look at teams that are already through to the last 8. I love it. Nigeria on top right there. Look at it. There's Spain, there's Korea Republic, there's England. And Rotimi with the results going on now. It's like
except the Spaniards lose by as much as 4-5, then they will probably relinquish top spots. But between USA and Colombia, it's still USA are up by 2-0, Colombia up by 1-0 against Spain. So as it stands, we will play USA in the quarterfinals. That's not an easy fixture.
No, we can beat
and
USA.
whatever happens, either they'll play the United States or Colombia. Those are not easy fixtures.
So it's easier to actually play United States than Colombia. Take that from me.
And we have said it at this level.
Yeah.
It's not that any team is renowned.
Exactly.
But it's because of what we know that some countries do for their football, the
North
systems that they have, the
North
structures.
Korea and South Korea, those two teams,
Japan,
what they've done with women's football at this age It's something.
And you know what, Cecilia, they had to go that way because they know they do not have the sort of talent that some European teams have and the US. So they are now putting investment to the grassroots, which is what we're always saying in Nigeria. We need to give attention to the grassroots. Let's talk about arguably the most competitive football league in the world, and it's the Nigeria Premier Football League. Cecilia talked about this result. 6-goal thriller. Ikorodu City beating Daniel Amokachi's Lobby Stars by 4-2. Lobby Stars, a bit of a big problem because in their last game, they were leading 2-0, and then El Kanemi Warriors came back and it ended 2-2. And now they've lost this game against Ikorodu City. Good ones for the Oga boys in Lagos. So fans in Lagos, it's time to start supporting Ikorodu City. Tornadoes lost to Rivers United. I think that's second away win of the season for Coach Finidi George and his team. They are racing away. They have been dominant. My sweet darling Aqua United played a draw against Rangers. And there's been some talks about that penalty that the referee turned away from. Rotimi will talk about it. Shooting Stars won Katsina United 0. Bayelsa United won Heartland FC 0. More results from match day 8 of the Nigeria Premier Football League. When it comes up, this is it. El Kanemi Warriors won. Aimba 0. This team, El Kanemi Warriors, after 8 matches, they are still unbeaten. Can you believe it? It's just El Kanemi Warriors and Rivers United that are still unbeaten in the league this season. Abia Warriors 3, Plateau United 1, Kano Pillars 1, Kwara United 1. Sunshine Stars defeated Nasarawa United by a single goal, and Remo Stars kept their relevance with a 1-0 win over Cecilia's Bendel Insurance. Rotimi, this season I've been so pumped up. The football has been good. We've not had much terrible talks about officiating, and then we've seen away wins, and we're seeing goals.
I mean, brilliant stuff. One of the best adverts for the league was the game we saw last week at Enugu.
The Cathedral.
Rangers and Kano Pillars. Ahmed Musa leading his charge, 4-3 win. 4-0 up at halftime. I mean, that was solid. And then, just like you rightly said, we're seeing more. From the angle of Finidi George, Rivers United, Emmanuel Amunike, Heartland, Daniel Amokachi, Lobby Stars. I mean, these are guys that are revered in Nigeria football, and now they're still within, the system, doing a lot of things with this team. So it's been solid. It's been exciting so far after 8 weeks of football in action. But then, just those little loopholes here and there. The calls. Why was this goal chalked off? Offside or no offside? Penalty or no penalty? Well, we'll definitely. We see that even on the international stages. So this debate will continue, but you can't take out the excitement or the improvement that we've seen in the MPFL so far this season.
MPFL officials, the pitches also. We've seen some pitches that if you just pour a bucket of water, it becomes a full-blown swimming pool. So let's take a look at that. Infrastructure development, very important. So after 8 matches, this is what the table looks like. The Nigeria Premier Football League, Rivers United, they're saying to themselves that this season, they must prove a point. They won the league title. Can they keep this level of consistency that we've seen under Coach Finidi George? We'll wait. But they're on top of the table with 20 points. Remo Stars, this is a team that keeps saying to teams that want to know that they can compete. They are second on the log with 18 points. Aimba, Zobu. Top team in the Nigeria Premier Football League. They are third on the log with 14. And then Sunshine Stars. I like what Sunshine Stars seem to be doing this season. Some would say, yes, there's no El Kanemi Warriors here because they've been playing draws, picking good results on the road, but they are still unbeaten after 8 matches. And then the bottom 4, Ikorodu City, Aqua United, Heartland, and then Lobby Stars. Cecilia, I know you wanted to say something about Bendel Insurance and how they lost today, but it's still early days, 8 matches, and as Rotimi said, we've seen beautiful football in the league.
When you started with MPFL, you always introduce it as the most competitive league, arguably, in the world. No, once you start the NPFL, if you start so well, you know you're obviously going to end very well. But if you start badly, it's actually hard for you to actually catch up because usually, if you win your first 6 games and then you continue like that, there's always the tendency that those top 4 teams that you're seeing, one of them will definitely end up winning.
Rangers didn't really start so well last season, remember?
They didn't start so well, but they were not losing badly like the way Ben Insurance. So Ben Insurance right now, they only struggle to see if they can even get up to top 4. yeah, that's how it's going to end at the end of the season. But and then if you look at okay, we're talking about this particular. Now let's take a look at this particular game that I mentioned earlier. You know, when Daniel Amokachi was giving the master look, you now have to handle this thing. There was something they talk about welfare, you know, of the players and everything. But this game, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, there's 2 goals assurance. Yeah, assurance gave them those 2 goals going into the break. It was 2-2, and then they came back from the break, and the way Ikorodu City scored those 2 goals, and then that was it. The fact that they could not score in the second half of the game, I really don't know what Daniel Mokachi told his team, that they considered those 2 goals and couldn't even you know, equalize or anything.
I mean,
I
to be
felt
honest,
that 2-2, it was okay, it was balanced. But
yeah, but to be fair
second
to the
half,
coaches,
it was.
it's not
something
about what
else.
you say at times. It's about what happens on the pitch.
Right.
I mean, you can say all you want to say.
Take a look at
Yeah.
that equalizer. I mean, he was alone. He was able to capitalize on that, and then that was.
You can't take rule out the fact that the Ikorodu City have also been on a good run. This is their 3rd game, and there's no losses yet.
This is what I was talking
2 wins,
about.
one draw. So it's really good for Ikorodu
How do
City.
you allow? I mean, how do you allow a player? I mean, it was obvious that that defender was there. There was no marking, nothing. He ran into the ball, and then this is it.
It happened.
And you
Earlier tonight, we saw Real Madrid concede a funny goal, and you were looking for all the defenders. It happens in football.
Well, let me start off. I think this is not just their season, because the way they after 8 games, I mean, at the bottom of when the season started, it was between Heartland, Aqua United. They were struggling, you know, one up and down. Ikorodu City also, but now you've seen Ikorodu City. I mean, they've won 2 games right now, but Lobby Stars, Heartland, 1 game so far each.
And I said it, the biggest problem with the Obi Stars, they need to find a way to start playing football at home. You know, you need to fix it, because Lafia Township Stadium, it's not really, you know, doing it for them. You know, I watched that game against El Kanemi Warriors.
Yeah.
They were up by 2 goals to nothing, and then some level of complacency, and then El Kanemi Warriors came back to it. So that's it. MPFL, we definitely get us talking all the time. Remember, this is our own football, so you guys find a way to start supporting it. Cecilia, basketball, what's going on?
Yes, basketball, yes. I mean, you have the teams already. Okay, basketball, yes. For the women, I mean, it's over. MFM, of course, winning it last week. But now, the men will be starting theirs on the 25th of this month. And it's the usual approach. I mean, it's the usual way. It's not a long season. It's just you have like 2 months, 1 month, everybody come together, play, and then Final Four, and then the winner represent Nigeria at the Basketball African League. So that's how it is. Well, I see you can just run through. Yeah, you can do me the honor of running through the teams from Savannah Conference and of course the Atlantic Conference. There's not much difference.
Yeah,
you're smiling.
And Cecilia,
same.
I don't blame
Yeah,
you. You know, I
there's
see how
nothing
you
different.
struggle to talk about it, because we keep telling the administrators this is not the way to go if you want to develop league basketball in Nigeria. But hey, they will say in the kingdom of the blind, who is the king? The one-eyed man. So we will work with this one. Take a look at the 2024 MBBF Men's Premier Basketball League, the Savannah Conference. We've got Nigeria Customs, Nile University, Kano Pillars, Bauchines, Boko City Chiefs, Gombe Bulls, respected team with basketball in Nigeria. Nigeria Correctional Service and Plateau Peaks. That's another big team in the league. Atlanta Conference, the chairman, Rivers Hoopers. There is Kwara Falcons. There's Ebon Comets. Good to see Ebon Comets back in the midst. Hoops and Reed, Police Baton, Lagos Legends, Oluyole Warriors, and Delta Force. So that's for the Atlantic Conference with the MBBF.
Yeah. But I think the good thing
I don't know if
about
it's
it-
abridged or scaled
No, it's
down.
just the usual
or-
one. Rotimi understands what I'm talking about. They come together, just play. Starting on 25th, one in Benin City. That's the Atlantic Conference. Savannah is in Jos, and we have just new team. Nile University. I'm happy that we're having new teams actually coming into the league. That's the only teams I will say. But 4 teams I expect to qualify from each of the group for the final 8, and of course, before you now know the champions, where the final 8 will converge, maybe in Lagos or Abuja or somewhere.
Well,
But
we
don't know
had
yet.
that of the women in Lagos.
Yeah.
So the
Maybe
the one for last season was held in Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
Maybe it might come to Lagos this time around. Who knows? Probably if they can secure sponsorship before the final, then the sponsors would determine where to go to. But hopefully, I believe the basketball guys on their own front can look forward to seeing something. It's really not the best, but at least let's accept this.
Okay. Before we go, Cecilia, I know we don't have time to read the entire results in the UEFA Champions League. But for those of you who think that Borussia Dortmund can do something, it's now Real Madrid 4, Borussia Dortmund 2. Cecilia.
Okay, as expected, we have to go. You know, when Borussia Dortmund were 2 goals up, AY, I mean, he's going to be reading the news that it was like, what's wrong with our team? We're playing at home. I'm like, Real Madrid, you should know now. Before you know it, it's a 4-2. Borotimi, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Amongbe. Have a good night rest.
Okay, that's it. With me in Lagos, Distarano, London. I'm Austin Okonakwan in everything you do. Remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.